Shalom, shalom. All right. Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Hashem, not Yahweh, Yahweh, Vave. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishop, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all the Israel, whether accepted or not. In the sense of salutation to all the Akim, believing this truth and pushing this truth with the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listen learning, Yifu Sizzle listen learning. Masai from GMS Leno, Count Prophet of Doom, coming this another lesson, truth, facts, faith, and edification, another data of case, Lord wisdom be edifying. So I titled this lesson, watching this transition happen in real time as conscious Jakes denies it. Watching the transition of the monetary system from paper to the RFID micro C-HIP. But these ones that's supposed to be conscious, they still denying this truth. So first off, this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational person use tips to balance and favor fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to this video. This is for educational purposes only. The Lord wouldn't be edifying. Let me drop this. So bear with me here. We're gonna run this bike.
Past alert.
So this is like from a couple weeks ago. And I just want to add, I want to make some points on this because this is again watching the transition from this fiat currency becoming obsolete to the RFID micro C-HIP. So I saw this and I want to add this to my lesson. Lord wouldn't be edifying. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. Again, I do not own the copyright to this video. And turn this volume down. Hey, this is heavy, man. This guy goes in heavy on this, man. And just like the video I was playing yesterday of with this these intercontinental ballistic missile system that Russia has, that video, to me, that video was showing how Joel, the second chapter, reads about the missiles, about the warheads. So this is how this guy is explaining this is what the apostles been talking about for years, man. How this guy is explaining this is exactly how the scriptures tell you without going into the detail, the heavy details. We filter everything these people say through the scriptures because it's already written a short time ago. But how he breaking it down is what the apostles been saying for years, man. So according to the scriptures, this ain't nothing new, but how he's detailing it is heavy, man, to the Revelations 13 and 16.
It's law. The new bill to ban money just passed. Alert. While the nation debated headlines, a committee vote occurred after midnight. Not a single news anchor mentioned it. The framework is now in place. Not to make cash illegal, but make using it impossible. Timeline has been set. Your bank account, your savings, your business transactions, all of it visible, trackable, and soon controllable. The digital cage door is closing, and most people have no idea it's even there. Welcome to Boring Economic. Now, before we go further into what just happened in that committee room, let me ask you something. The way I'd ask my father, you've lived long enough to see currencies change, policies shift, and governments make promises they didn't keep. So do me a favor. If you value knowing what's actually happening with your money before everyone else finds out, hit that subscribe button, not because it's trendy, but because economic intelligence isn't entertainment, it's survival. And one more thing, drop a comment below and tell me, where are you watching this from? What city? What country? Because what's coming isn't just an American problem. Now let's get into what this legislation actually means. The committee room was nearly empty. It was 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Most Americans were asleep, while a handful of legislators voted on a bill that would fundamentally alter how money works in this country. The bill passed, not with fanfare, not with debate, but with the quiet efficiency of something that had been planned for years. The official name doesn't matter. What matters is what it does, and more importantly, what it doesn't say. Nowhere in the 247-page document does it say cash is illegal. That would be too obvious, too alarming. Instead, the legislation does something far more clever. It builds the infrastructure that makes physical money obsolete. Think of it this way. They're not banning roads, they're just making it impossible to drive on them. The first major provision requires every business in America to report digital transactions to the IRS in real time. Not at the end of the month, not quarterly, instantly. The moment a customer swipes a card, the government knows the amount, the location, the merchant, the time. All of it logged, all of it permanent. For business owners, this creates an immediate operational challenge. New software systems must be installed. Compliance officers may need to be hired. Every digital payment infrastructure must connect directly to federal reporting systems. The cost of this compliance falls on businesses, not the government. Small businesses will feel this pressure first. A local coffee shop that processes 50 transactions a day now reports 50 times to federal authorities. A freelance consultant who invoices clients through digital platforms now has every payment tracked and categorized. The gray economy, the informal exchanges that keep small commerce alive, begins to disappear. But the real foundation of this system isn't the reporting requirements. It's what comes next. The bill allocates funding for something called Central Bank Digital Currency Infrastructure, CBDC. Most people have never heard this term, but it represents the most significant change to money since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. The CBDC is not just digital banking, it's programmable currency, money that can be coded, controlled, and modified by the issuing authority. The legislation doesn't mandate the use of CBDC yet. It simply builds the roads, installs the cameras, and sets up the toll booths. The actual requirement to use this system will come later, probably during the next crisis. Financial emergency, cyber attack, economic collapse, whatever the trigger, the infrastructure will already be in place. And this infrastructure connects directly to something that already exists, FedNow. The Federal Reserve launched this instant payment system in 2023. They marketed it as a way to get paychecks faster, to send money to family instantly, to modernize banking. What they didn't advertise was the surveillance capability. FedNow allows the central bank to see every transaction in real time, not just banks seeing their own customers, but the Federal Reserve seeing everything. The old banking system was slow, decentralized, and relatively private. Transactions took days to clear. Banks operated independently. The Federal Reserve had oversight, but not omniscience. FedNow changes that completely. Speed equals visibility. Instant payments mean instant data. And that data flows directly to the institution that controls the currency supply. Every coffee purchase, every rent payment, every donation to a political cause, every ounce of silver bought online, visible, recorded, permanent. The third component of the legislation targets physical currency itself, not by banning it outright, but by making high-denomination bills disappear. There's a growing movement in Washington to eliminate the $100 bill. The official reason given is crime prevention. They claim that only criminals and tax evaders use large bills, but the statistics tell a different story. The $100 bill represents approximately 80% of all physical currency in circulation. It's how ordinary Americans store value outside the banking system. A family keeps $2,000 in hundreds in a safe at home, just in case. A small business owner maintains cash reserves to cover payroll during a banking disruption. Elderly citizens who lived through financial crises keep physical bills as a hedge against system failure. Remove the $100 bill, and storing significant amounts of cash becomes physically impractical. Try keeping $10,000 in $20 bills. It's 500 individual notes. Bulky, difficult to secure, easy to miscount. Now imagine $50,000 in ones and fives. Impossible. This is economic engineering. Make physical money so inconvenient that people voluntarily choose digital alternatives. The legislation also includes tax incentives for businesses that go completely cashless, reduced reporting burdens for digital-only operations, lower transaction fees for electronic payments, regulatory advantages for companies that refuse physical currency. Business owners face a choice: accept the carrots being offered for going cashless, or bear the increasing costs and complications of handling physical money. Most will choose the path of least resistance. And with each business that stops accepting cash, the infrastructure for a cashless society strengthens. The committee vote was just one step, but it was the critical step. The foundation has been poured. The walls are going up, and most people have no idea the building even exists. There's a system running right now that most people don't know exists. It's not hidden. It's not secret. It's just invisible to those who aren't looking. And it's watching every dollar move through the American economy. In July 2023, the Federal Reserve flipped a switch. No announcement on the evening news, no press conference with dramatic music, just a quiet launch of something called FedNow. The marketing was brilliant. Get your paycheck instantly. Send money to friends in seconds. No more waiting for payments to clear. Convenience, speed, modernization. That's what they sold. But what they built was something entirely different. FedNow isn't just faster banking. It's a real-time financial surveillance grid. Here's how the old system worked. When someone made a purchase with a debit card, the transaction entered a queue. It moved through the merchant's bank, then through processing networks, then through clearinghouses. The process took 24 to 72 hours. During that time, the transaction existed in a kind of financial fog. Multiple institutions handled pieces of the information, but no single entity saw everything in real time. The Federal Reserve had oversight, but it was retrospective. They could analyze patterns after the fact, but not watch transactions as they happened. Privacy existed in the delay. FedNow eliminates the delay. Transactions settle in seconds, and every single one flows through Federal Reserve infrastructure. The central bank doesn't just have oversight anymore, it has a live feed. Imagine a highway system where every car has a tracker, and one central office watches every vehicle on every road simultaneously. That's FedNow. But the implications go far deeper than simple monitoring. Because once you can see money moving in real time, you can control it in real time. A business owner in Ohio sells equipment to a customer in Texas. The payment processes through FedNow. Instantly, the IRS knows the transaction occurred, the amount, the parties involved, the nature of the business. No delay, no filing quarterly reports, no waiting for annual tax returns. The government sees the income before the business owner even finishes the sale. Now, multiply that by every business transaction in America. Millions per hour, all visible, all categorized, all permanent. The legislation passed last week makes this level of reporting mandatory, not optional, not for businesses above a certain size, mandatory for everyone. And the threshold keeps dropping. 5 years ago, banks had to report transactions over $10,000. And that made sense. Large cash movements could indicate illegal activity. It was a reasonable safeguard. Then the threshold dropped to $600. $600. A teenager selling a used laptop to a neighbor triggers a federal report. A freelance graphic designer receiving payment for a logo design gets flagged. A family selling furniture at a garage sale crosses the reporting threshold after a few items. This isn't about catching criminals anymore. It's about eliminating financial privacy entirely. The informal economy, the cash transactions that happen between neighbors and friends, the small trades that keep communities functioning, all of it becomes visible, all of it becomes taxable, all of it becomes controlled. But there's another component to this infrastructure that most people haven't noticed yet: the elimination of high denomination currency. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. Nobody needs a $100 bill except criminals. That's the talking point. But look at the numbers. The $100 bill represents 80% of physical US currency in circulation, not in transactions, in storage. People hold hundreds because they're the most efficient way to store value outside the digital system. $10,000 in hundreds is a small stack, fits in a safe, easy to secure. Try storing $10,000 in 20s. 500 bills, 3 times the volume. Now try 1s and 5s, physically impractical. This is the strategy. Don't ban cash. Just make it impossible to hold significant amounts. A business that keeps 10,000 in emergency cash reserves can do that with hundreds. Remove hundreds, and suddenly that same business needs a much larger safe, more security, more complexity. Eventually, it's easier to just keep the money in a bank account, which brings everything back into the digital grid, where it can be tracked, where it can be taxed, where it can be controlled. Several European countries have already done this. Sweden eliminated large denomination notes years ago. Cash transactions dropped by 70% within 3 years. Not because people stopped wanting privacy, but because using cash became so inconvenient that digital became the only practical option. The United States is following the same playbook, but with one critical addition: the integration of FedNow with CBDC infrastructure. Right now, digital dollars in a bank account are still relatively private between you and your bank. The government can request information, but it requires warrants, legal processes, institutional cooperation. There are still barriers. CBDC removes those barriers entirely, because with a central bank digital currency, there is no intermediary, no commercial bank standing between you and the Federal Reserve. The government issues the currency directly, holds the ledger directly, sees every transaction directly. No requests needed, no warrants required. It's their money, in their system, on their servers. And the infrastructure for the system is being built right now, under the banner of modernization, under the promise of convenience, under the cover of legislation that most people will never read. FedNow is already operational. The reporting requirements are being phased in. High denomination bills are being quietly removed from circulation. Each piece of the puzzle clicks into place. And when the final piece arrives, when the crisis comes that makes CBDC adoption seem necessary, the infrastructure will already be waiting. The rails will already be laid. The surveillance grid will already be operational. All that will remain is flipping the switch from optional to mandatory. And most people won't even notice it happening.
And I want to go back to that point right there. This right here. Flipping that switch from optional to mandatory. The RFID micro C here will be made mandatory, man. This is the transition, and we are watching it in real time. And the apostles been saying this for decades. I was say generations, reincarnation. Hey, for decades, for centuries, the apostles been saying this, man. The RFID micro C will be mandatory. I want to let him finish, then I'm gonna get these precepts. Hey, this is why the Lord set up watchmen. And as it say in Luke 1, from the days of old, the prophets have been since the world began. And I want to read some of these precepts, but I'm gonna try my best to wait. I want to play all this video because it's 26 minutes.
Is flipping the switch from optional to mandatory. And most people won't even notice it happening because they've already been using the system for years. Money is always.
I gotta say, the reason they don't know what's happening because they don't have the ISOLVE. That's what this lesson is about. ISOLVE, man. The prophets. This is why the Lord set up certain men, specific men, to give you the warning. This is not for anybody. Just like everybody can't do what Michael Jordan did. Everybody couldn't do what Wilt Chamberlain and Dr. J did. Everybody can't be Jay-Z or Lil Wayne or Nas. Everybody can't be these particular men, these specific men that had their era. The Lord, just like the Lord set up the Michael Jordans and the Dr. J's and the Wilt Chamberlain and the Magic Johnsons, right? The Larry Birds and the Dominique Wilkins, right? And the Isaiah Thomas. You got the Lord set up specific men. That's why I tell you in 1 Corinthians 4, the Lord set up the apostles last, the prophets last. Specific men to stand on the tower and give you what's happening, what the going ons. This ain't for everybody. Like what Drake said, hey, I ain't just anybody. Hey, the Lord set up men, certain men for certain things. Again, Michael Jordan. What Jay-Z say? Jordan, Tyson, Jackson, Game 6. Listen, you specific men, just like everybody that sold out to go serve the so-called, self-proclaimed so-called white man. Hey, We sold out to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The same way 2/3 sold out, we sold out too. The same way 2/3, I'm talking about those that made it. They brainwashed to serve the self-proclaimed so-called white man. We brainwashed to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Lord willing, we endure till we get beaten up into a chariot.
It had one fundamental characteristic. Once it's in your hand, it's yours to use however you choose. A dollar earned 50 years ago could buy anything a dollar could buy. No conditions, no restrictions, no expiration date. The person holding the dollar decided what to do with it. That principle is about to end because the money coming isn't just digital, it's programmable. And programmable money isn't really yours at all. Imagine receiving your paycheck on Friday, $1,000 deposited into your digital wallet, but there's a message attached. This payment expires in 30 days. Unspent funds will be deleted, not transferred, not held, deleted. The money literally disappears if you don't spend it fast enough. This isn't science fiction. This is a feature explicitly discussed in central bank digital currency research papers. The technical term is demurrage. The practical term is use it or lose it. The economic justification is stimulus. During a recession, governments want people spending money, not saving it. Consumer spending drives economic activity. Savings slow down the velocity of money. In the old system, governments couldn't force people to spend. If someone wanted to keep cash under a mattress, there was nothing authorities could do about it. But with programmable currency, the government doesn't need to force anything. They just write the expiration date into the code. The money enforces its own rules. Spend by this date, or watch your purchasing power vanish. This destroys something fundamental to wealth building, the ability to delay gratification. In every civilization, prosperity has been built on the ability to save, to accumulate, to plan for the future. A farmer saves seeds from this harvest to plant next season. A craftsman saves earnings from summer to survive winter. A family saves for years to buy a home. Savings represent deferred consumption, the willingness to sacrifice today for security tomorrow. Programmable currency with expiration dates makes that impossible. Every dollar becomes perishable. Like fruit that rots, money that expires forces constant consumption. No long-term planning, no generational wealth building, no financial independence. Just an endless cycle of earn and spend, earn and spend. But expiration dates are only the beginning, because programmable currency can include restrictions on what it can purchase. The code can specify permitted transaction categories. Here's how it works in practice. The government issues a stimulus payment. $1,000 appears in your digital wallet, but embedded in the currency is a smart contract. This money cannot be used to purchase firearms, ammunition, precious metals, or cryptocurrency. You try to buy gold coins at a local dealer. Transaction declined, not because you lack funds, but because the money itself has been programmed to refuse that purchase. You try to buy silver online, same result. The currency recognizes the merchant category code and blocks the transaction. The money makes the decision, not you. This is already happening in trial programs. China's digital yuan includes spending restrictions. Certain stimulus payments could only be used for specific goods. Food, yes. Rent, yes. Transportation, yes. Savings vehicles, no. International transfers, no. Cryptocurrency, no. The government determines acceptable use, and the money enforces it automatically. No human intervention required. No appeals process, no exceptions. The code is the law, and in the United States, similar frameworks are being developed right now. The legislation passed last week allocates funding for digital wallet infrastructure. Every citizen will eventually have a wallet linked to their social security number. This wallet becomes the only method to receive government benefits, tax refunds.
You know, it's heavy because there's a wallet app on your phone, man. If you got an Android or iPhone, there's a wallet app on your phone for you to connect. And this devil is doing all this through is conditioning through gradualism, man.
Social security payments, unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, all delivered exclusively through the digital wallet, which requires digital ID verification to access. This creates a coercion mechanism that's almost impossible to resist. A retiree who spent 40 years paying into Social Security wants their monthly payment. The government says, download the app, verify your identity, accept the digital wallet.
That's it.
The retiree can refuse, but the refusal means no payment, no Social Security check, no Medicare reimbursements, nothing. The choice becomes comply or starve. And once someone is in the system, they're subject to all.
That's it. Comply, conform, or starve. Man.
All the rules embedded in the programmable currency. including restrictions they might not even know exist until they try to make a purchase. But the most disturbing aspect of programmable money isn't what it can prevent, it's what it can enable. Negative interest rates. In traditional banking, there's a natural floor on how low interest rates can go. 0. A bank can reduce interest to 0, but they can't go negative. Because at negative rates, people would just withdraw their cash and store it physically. If a bank charges 5% annual interest to hold your money, you'd pull it out immediately. Cash under a mattress loses nothing. Cash in a negative rate account loses 5% per year. The choice is obvious. But in a fully digital system, there's no cash to withdraw. There is no mattress option. The money exists only as data on servers controlled by the central bank. And if the central bank implements negative 5% interest, account holders watch their balance decrease every month, not from spending, from existing. The government charges you for the privilege of holding their currency. This forces one of two choices: spend the money immediately, even on things you don't need, or invest it in markets the government approves, like stocks or bonds. Either way, the money keeps moving through the system. Velocity increases, tax revenue increases, but individual wealth decreases. This is the ultimate tool for central planners: the ability to force economic behavior without passing laws. No legislation required, no votes needed. Just adjust the interest rate in the currency code and watch people respond exactly as predicted. The World Economic Forum has published research on these mechanisms. They don't hide it. They call it economic behavior modification through monetary design. The International Monetary Fund has released handbooks on CBDC implementation. Over 100 countries are currently developing or testing digital currencies. This is a coordinated global rollout, not a conspiracy, a publicly stated agenda. The infrastructure is being built simultaneously across continents. The goal is interoperability, a digital dollar that can seamlessly transact with a digital euro, a digital yuan, a digital yen, one global ledger, one system of control, one set of rules that apply everywhere. No offshore accounts, no Swiss banks, no financial privacy anywhere on Earth, just the grid and everyone on it, visible, trackable, controllable. The legislation passed last week brings the United States one major step closer to this reality. The infrastructure is funded. The timelines are set. The technical specifications are being finalized. All that remains is the trigger event, the crisis that makes adoption seem necessary: a pandemic, a war, a cyber attack that wipes out traditional banking systems. Whatever the catalyst, the response is already prepared. For your safety, for your security, we're implementing the new digital dollar. It's temporary, just until the crisis passes. But temporary measures rarely expire. And once everyone's wealth exists only as programmable code on government servers, the cage door closes and there's no way out. There's a moment in every major transition where the door is still open, where the old system still functions and the new system hasn't yet become mandatory. That moment is right now. But the window is closing faster than most people realize. The target date circulating in policy documents is 2026. That's when full CBDC implementation is projected to become operational in the United States. Not optional, not experimental, mandatory, which means the time to prepare is measured in months, not years. But preparation requires understanding the actual risks, not the theoretical concerns, the concrete vulnerabilities that come with a fully digital financial system. And the first vulnerability is catastrophic, single point of failure. Every system has weak points. But a cashless society has only one system, with one central point of control. If that system goes down, everything stops. Not just banking, everything. Grocery stores can't process payments, gas stations can't sell fuel, hospitals can't verify insurance, employers can't pay workers, the entire economy freezes. The system can go down in multiple ways: a cyber attack, a solar flare that disrupts electrical grids, a software glitch in central banking infrastructure, even a natural disaster that knocks out regional data centers. Any of these events in a cashless society creates immediate economic paralysis. Physical cash works during a blackout. A store owner can still sell goods. A customer can still buy food. The transaction happens, power or no power. Silver works during a hurricane. Gold works during a grid failure. But digital dollars only work when the servers are running. The lights must be on. The internet must be connected. The systems must be operational. One disruption, and millions of people can't access their wealth. Not because it's gone, but because it's trapped in a system that's temporarily offline. Except temporary can become weeks, and weeks without access to money means people can't eat. This isn't theoretical. In 2021, a software update at a major payment processor caused outages across multiple countries. For 6 hours, millions of people couldn't make purchases. Credit cards declined, digital payments failed, ATMs went offline. 6 hours. Now imagine 6 days or 6 weeks. In a world where cash still exists, this is an inconvenience. In a cashless world, it's a catastrophe. But system failures aren't the only risk. There's something more immediate, more targeted, more politically dangerous. Financial deplatforming. February 2022, Canada. Truck drivers organized a protest against vaccine mandates. Thousands of citizens donated to support the protest. Small amounts, $50, $100. Peaceful donations to a legal protest. The Canadian government's response was unprecedented. They didn't arrest the donors. They didn't charge them with crimes. They simply froze their bank accounts. No trial, no warrant, no judicial process, just a list of names and a keystroke. Suddenly, people who donated to a cause the government disapproved of couldn't access their own money, couldn't buy groceries, couldn't pay rent, couldn't purchase fuel. Their wealth still existed, but they were locked out of the system that held it. This is the future of financial control in a CBDC environment. Dissent becomes economically punishable instantly. No lengthy legal proceedings, no constitutional protections, just code enforcement. If the system identifies you as a problematic actor, your wallet shuts off, and there's no cash alternative to fall back on. Because cash no longer exists, you're completely dependent on a system that has decided you're unworthy of participation.
And it's heavy because this Edomite at the plantation one day, he said, Azaria, if we leave here today, he said, you and I, we try to go get money out of the ATM machine and we can't get it. Who can we complain to? Because if you got paid, right? You got paid on your money go to directly to your direct deposit. If you got a bank account, who can you complain to? Who do you complain to if you can't go to the ATM machine and pull no money out? The money in your account, man. And see, this is why people are going to be, hey, that's addition, man. People can't get to that bag, man. It's going, man. When he said that, I'm like, man, that's crazy. What if I do go to the ATM machine and try to get some money and I can't get nothing? Who do I complain to? Because I got paid. Do I go to the bank? Man.
This isn't speculation. It's already happened in a G7 nation. And the infrastructure being built in the United States has the same capabilities. Real-time transaction monitoring, centralized control, instant enforcement. The only question is, when will it be used? And against whom? Which brings the discussion to alternatives. Because while the digital system is being constructed, other options still exist. Physical precious metals, gold and silver, these aren't relics of the past. They're the only financial instruments that exist outside the digital grid. Gold has always been the settlement layer for nations. Central banks hold gold reserves. International debts are settled in gold. It's the tier 1 asset for institutional players. Silver is the tier 1 asset for individuals. It's affordable. It's divisible. It's recognizable. And most importantly, it's completely private. A silver coin doesn't broadcast your location when you spend it. It doesn't require internet connectivity. It can't be hacked. It can't be frozen. It can't be programmed to expire. It simply is a store of value that exists in physical reality, not on a government server. As the digital control grid tightens, the premium on privacy increases. People will pay more for silver, not just for its metal value, but for its freedom value, the ability to transact without surveillance, the ability to save without permission.
And the silver and gold gonna fail. Scriptures tell you that, man. You got James 5, Proverbs. It's all over the scriptures, man. The gold and silver is gonna fail, man. It should not deliver them. What's that, Ezekiel? It's all gonna fail, man.
The ability to preserve wealth without government interference. This is why silver prices have been climbing, not because of industrial demand alone, but because informed individuals recognize what's coming and they're positioning accordingly. But precious metals aren't the only preparation. There's also the local network, the community of people who still value exchange outside the digital system.
No, the only preparation is spiritual, man. That's the only preparation. Hey, as he mentioned, that they hit that switch and change things up where you can use Chime and all these other apps if you want to get you want to get a few dollars out your check before you get paid. You can borrow money from your. Hey, listen. The only preparation is spiritual, man. If the Lord ain't reactivated you, It's over.
Farmers who sell produce for cash, craftsmen who trade services for physical payment, neighbors who barter goods without digital records. These networks still exist, but they're shrinking. As more businesses go cashless, as more transactions become tracked, the informal economy contracts. Building relationships now with people who understand the value of private exchange creates resilience. The mechanic who will fix your car for silver, a farmer who will sell eggs for cash, a neighbor who will trade skills without involving digital payment systems. These connections in a fully controlled digital economy become invaluable because they represent freedom of exchange without oversight. Then there's the question of timing. The legislation has passed committee, the infrastructure is being funded, the timeline points to 2026, but mandatory adoption requires a catalyst. History shows that governments rarely implement unpopular financial controls during stable times. They wait for crisis. The next major economic disruption, whatever form it takes, will likely be the trigger. A banking collapse, a currency crisis, cyber attack on financial infrastructure, a geopolitical conflict that destabilizes markets. Any of these events creates the perfect excuse. For your protection, we're activating the emergency digital currency system.
Hey, and this all, as apostles bringing out for years, order out KO, man. It's order out of chaos, which I'm going to go to Isaiah 24, and that word confusion. Let me show you what it say.
It's temporary, just until stability returns. But once implemented, these systems never go back. Income tax was temporary during World War I. It's still here. The Patriot Act was temporary after September 11th. Most provisions remain permanent. Emergency measures become permanent features. So the preparation window is now. While the old system still functions, while cash is still accepted, while alternatives still exist, the practical steps are straightforward. Maintain some physical cash, enough for a few weeks of basic expenses, small bills, ones, fives, 20s. Not as an investment, but as a functional backup. Convert a portion of savings into physical precious metals, not all, but enough to preserve wealth outside the digital system. Silver for practical transactions, gold for larger value storage. Build local networks of trusted individuals who value private exchange, people who understand what's coming and are preparing similarly. And most importantly, become comfortable operating outside the digital convenience. Use cash when possible. Support businesses that still accept it. Practice transactions that don't leave digital footprints. Because every time someone chooses the digital option, they vote for the system being built. Every swipe of a card, every tap of a phone, every QR code scanned strengthens the infrastructure of control. But every cash transaction, every physical exchange, every private trade preserves the alternative. The legislation is passed. The machine is operational. The timeline is accelerating. But the door is still open for now. The question isn't whether this system is coming. The technical infrastructure proves it is. The question is,
the scriptures prove it is. Thus saith the Lord.
Will individuals choose to exit while they still can? Or will they stay comfortable in the digital convenience until the door locks behind them? Because once it locks, there's no key, no exit.
That's what Yahweh said. He opened the door. Right? The doors of mercy is still open. Once it's shut, that's it.
No alternative, just the grid and everyone on it.
All right, so let's come back, drop that. Man, it's heavy, man. So let me pull up this blue letter and get these precepts, man. Bear with me here. Get the precept, man. Cause this is, man, and this is why we gotta be watching, man. Hey, cause these devils. Let me get this first. I said I'm gonna get this Isaiah 24. Man, hey, the Wali about Shema Shah, cause if you don't have the eyes off, man, Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision and people perish. Now, as he mentioned. You know, the apostles been saying this for years, man. They've been saying, the apostles been saying this. It's going to be an order out of chaos, right? Order out of chaos, which is order out of chaos is going to happen. So, man, I was doing this lesson of the last week. This word here, confusion, in Isaiah 24. and 10, H8414. Look at this. Look what it say. Place of chaos, man. Confusion. America, Babylon the Great. Confusion, empty, a worthless thing, in vain, a desolation, which America will be. Without form, nothing, not vain, vanity, waste, wilderness. That's America, Babylon the Great. But the point right here, place of chaos, man. That's going to be America. It is or not, it is America. But this is that place of chaos. Oh, what's that? Job. What's that? Job 10. Job 10 and 22, verse 21, it reads, before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and the shadow of death without any order. See? And where the light is as darkness. So let me jump here. Isaiah 5. Hey, and Shalom to all the Akim and Akwa tuning in. Yahweh Shema Shah Barakatham. So this Isaiah 5 and 1. I just want to make this point. This is why the Lord set up watchmen. This is why the Lord set up he-goats to lead the flock, man. This is Isaiah 5:1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard. My well-beloved have a vineyard and a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it. I want to make the point about this tower. This is Jeremiah 6 and 27. The tower is for the watchmen. This is Jeremiah 6 and 27. I set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. So this is what the Lord raised up. Let me get this. Jeremiah 3. The transition is happening, man. Jeremiah 3 and 14. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 3 and 15 said, like, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Isaiah. This is about giving warning, man. This is about caring for the flock. Oh, I got to go get that. Isaiah 6, 2 and 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, keep not silent, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Let me get this. 1 Corinthians 7. Because this is about the flock, man. First Corinthians 7:20 reads, let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Art thou called being a servant? Care not for it. For what? The flock, the ministry, the sheep, man. But if thou mayest be made free, use it rather. Use what? The Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit, man. Use the Holy Spirit to feed the flock, man. Because the transition is happening. Like I titled the lesson, Proverbs 27:23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. Let me get this. Jeremiah 50. Was that 9? Uh 8. remove out of the midst of Babylon. This is removing spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and go forth out of the land of Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flocks. Let me show you the translation. As I tied the lesson, man, the transitioning is happening, but you got these so-called conscious, which mean awake. They aware. When you look at the word conscious, they supposed to be aware and awake, but they sleep. Look at this. Oh, I said I went to the translation. Salakia, a little excited here right now. Sheesh. Moving too fast. All right. So NLT, but now flee from Babylon, leave the land of Babylonians like male goats at the head of the flock, lead my people home again. Heavy, man. Yeah. So let me jump back. So as the Lord got these men on the watchtower to give warning of what's happening. Hey, because, man, let me get this. You got Jeremiah 8. Man, I got so many precepts right here. I'm going to try to get all of them. I don't got nothing to do. I got a lot of free time today. Jeremiah 8 and 17. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, saith Yahweh. Now, when you get the translation, this is the NLT. I will send these enemy troops among you like poisonous snakes. You cannot charm, they will bite you, and you will die. I, Yahweh, have spoken. Now, when you go to see how, you gotta go to translation on this one. But when you go to Jeremiah, 18 and 21, man, it's straight plain. I just did a lesson on this the other week. The Ephraimite chick over here in Kissimmee crying because she talking about don't go out because ICE is over here in Kissimmee down here in Orlando. Look, Jeremiah 18:21. Therefore, deliver up their children to the famine, 2/3, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. What it said, Matthew 11:21. I mean, Matthew, what's that? Matthew 11:12. Let me read it real quick. Matthew 11. Matthew 11:12. And from the days of John the Baptist unto now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. Who took it by force? Esau, Edom. Let's get the one in Ezekiel. Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. How, Lord? By the force of the sword in the time of that calamity, in the time of that iniquity had an end. This is what the so-called white man has done. Let's go back. So here in Jeremiah 18 and 21, therefore deliver up their children to the famine, those that rejected the word of the Lord, even though they couldn't get it anyway, because the Lord had to reactivate you. You can't just wake up and find the Lord like Christianity tell you. You can just wake up and then all of a sudden you can accept the Lord, the Most High, His Son, as your personal Lord and Savior. No, the Lord got to reactivate you, man. Therefore, deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. The same ones that's been willing the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let the young men be slain by the sword in battle. Because, hey, it's going to be a war. You're getting drafted. The sedition. Here's the point I want to make. Because this is happening right now in real time. Let a cry be heard from their houses. The video I did the other week, the chick was crying, talking about the Puerto Rican chick, talking about they in Kissimmee, don't go outside. Let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. Ice is everywhere. For they have digged a pit to take me and hid snares for my feet, which is going to happen to a lot of the prophets, man. Your own family member going to come up against you. So this is happening. It say, let a cry be heard from their houses. Why? When thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. This is happening right now in real time, man. So as this is happening, and I was listening to Elder Aram and the brother Dawadah from Alabama. They was live last night. Listening to them at the plantation, and they was mentioning it's the food recalls, man. Hey, it's a lot of food recalls, man. And they're making the point. There's been so many food recalls. We can't even keep up with how many food recalls it's been. I'm talking on everything, man. Lettuce, fruit, vegetables, everything, man. Meats. Recalling, they just did a recall on beef a month or two ago, man. Thousands and thousands of pounds of beef. Listen, the Lord is doing this, man. He said, I forget to pull up that. Matter of fact, bear with me here. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let me pull up this. Let me pull up this Apocrypha instead of reading from the phone. Let me pull this up right here. Instead of bear with me for a second. I had it on my. Let me see. Nope. Let me read it from the phone. I need to pull it. I forget to pull this up. I'm gonna read it from the phone real quick. So this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 11. I'm gonna start at 10. I forget to pull that up. I don't need that no more. Hold on, bear with me. Getting rid of these these apps. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 11. 15 and 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. 2/3. Why? Because they don't have no eyesight, man. They don't have vision. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, and we in the modern Egypt, which is America. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And I'm making this point because the Lord destroyed the food, man. The Egyptians' food was destroyed, man. It's called the cattle disease, which is called the cattle murrain, right? So what the Lord is letting these Edomites do? This nigga Bill Gates, the original hot boy BT, talking about cows fart too much. Him and all these Yuval Noah Harari and these devils, right? Klaus Schwab. So the modern day way of a cattle murrain is the Lord letting these Edomites take away the beef, man. They taking away, but that's Hosea 4:1. Again, 2nd Ezra 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and they stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and to destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment. It said the foundation. When you go to Amos 9 and 1, the Lord say, let me go to it real quick here. Let me show you why I'm reading this 2nd Ezra. Amos 9 and 1. I ain't trying to be too long, man, because I know me, and this won't even go to my Odyssey account if I go over. Anyway, Amos 9:1. I saw the Lord stand upon the altar, and America is the altar. It'll tell you in Isaiah 34:6. And he said, smite the lintel of the door that the post may shake. Right? I want to get this point. When you go to the translation, look at this. NLT. Then I saw a vision of the Lord standing beside the altar. He said, strike the tops of the temple column so that the foundation will shake. Back in 2nd Ezra 15:12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishments that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn. What's going on with the farmers? They mourning, man. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail. And guess who the blasting and hail is? The so-called white man destroying his own people, man. The farmers have been destroyed by these elites, and with a fearful consolation. So let me go back. Let me go here, because I want to deal with this, man. Hold on. Isaiah, what was that? No, not Isaiah. I'm tripping. Proverbs, right? Proverbs 29:18. Proverbs 29:18, it reads, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he, right? They don't got no vision. This is, and the Lord said that, what's that, in Deuteronomy 28, they shall grope at noonday, right? Like you blind. Why are they groping? Because they don't have no sight, man. So this is, I got a minute precept. Let me get this. 1 Thessalonians 5:1, right? Let me get this first. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief of the night. Right? Verse 4, it reads, I'm just going to read 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, and this is what this system is, this is what the new system being set up, this is what it seemed like. Then suddenly destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. This new system seemed like, oh, your money gonna be safe and secure. You got to buy hackers or none of that. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Here's the point I want to make. Because this ain't, see how I say right here, verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others. I was making this point the other day, but I really want to make more points on this. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Is this talking about you sleep, snoring? No, man. You don't have no ice off. For they that sleep, sleep in the night. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. I want to deal with this point here. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. What is it talking about? They that don't have no vision, man. They don't got no vision because the Lord didn't give them the eyes off. Let's go here. This is Ephesians. Ephesians, what's that? 5:14. Look at this. Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he said, awake, thou that sleepest, You can't awake without the Lord reactivating you. You can't. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Hold on. Proverbs 21:16. Why are they dead? The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. How can you wonder well understanding that if you don't have no vision? If you don't got no vision, you definitely can't hear nothing. Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. First, you got to be reactivated by the Lord. See then that you walk circumspectly. See, ain't no sleeping in the bed. No, this talking about those that don't got no eyesight, man. This is for those that the Lord have given eyesight to. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. The philosophies, man. This is so I was just thinking about that. Oh, Hosea, let me get this. Because these devils, which is the Lord doing it, but just like the Lord said, he gonna strike Egypt with plagues as before. There was a catamaran. The brothers, the elder brother Aram and Dawadah was making a point about darkness, right? The Lord. So these different cities, right now, some places don't got power, right? Cause I know I talked to Mom the other day, and she was like, in Mississippi, she was like, there was ice frozen on the power line, so they don't got no power. And other places, and then they was the brother read the article, said 30 people done died since this snowstorm. 30 plus people done died in the cold. Hey man, darkness is coming. It's gonna be complete darkness. Cattle disease, food recall, man. These are the plagues of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Whether you acknowledge it or accept it or not, it doesn't matter. Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For Yahweh have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Now, this applies to the Israelites, but now it applies to those who control the resources, which is the self-proclaimed so-called white man. Verse 2. By swearing in lying and killing. Oh, let me slow down. It said, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Well, when you go to Revelations 11:8, it said, let's go to it. What do these devils do? They X'd out Yahushua. They X'd out Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Revelation 11:8, in their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. The Lord wasn't crucified in Egypt nor Sodom. So what's it talking about? It's talking about this. Job 9:24. And there's also one, was that First Maccabees 3:48. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? If the so-called white man didn't come up with Jesus Christ, who came up with it? Because there ain't no Chinese Jesus. There is neither Japanese or African Jesus. Ain't no Arab or Iranian Jesus. So who came up with it? The so-called white man did. So because of this, Hosea 4:1, hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For Yahweh have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy. That's why right here, just this alone, James 2:13. These devils ain't gonna be showed no mercy, because they ain't show no mercy, man. Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out in blood, touching blood. All this applies to the so-called white man now. Therefore, should the land mourn? As it said in Isaiah 24, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field. The Lord took away the beasts in Egypt, and with the fowls of heaven, the Lord removed all the food, man. Yeah, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken. The Lord did all this, man. So the same thing is going to happen again right here in Babylon the Great. And as I love to read, Isaiah 3:1. For behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. So before the Lord remove your food and water, He's going to take away your stay. That's your comfort, your foundation. The staff is your protection. Look at this translation. The Lord remove it. And guess what 2/3 of our people trust in? Guess what they hope at? Isaiah 30:12. They trust in oppression, man. Look at this. So here is the NIV. See now the Lord, Yahweh Almighty, is about to take away from Jerusalem and Judah both supply and support. All supplies of food and all supplies of water. And there's plenty of precepts on this. Ezekiel 4, Ezekiel 5. The Lord is going to remove this, man. But before He take away your food and water, He's taking away your foundation. I just read the 2 Ezra 15. Let me read it again. 2 Ezra 15:12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, and their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation, man. This is what the Lord's doing in real time. And while He's doing, He got the troops among you, man. I want to go back to let me go here. Bear with me here, because I gotta go to this Apocrypha now. This is 2 Ezra 6. And next time I'm gonna do a lesson, I'm gonna have this Apocrypha pulled up. 2 Ezra 6:20, it reads, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. As a matter of fact, hold on here. Bear with me a few ticks. Let me do this. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Trying to find this one I used to be using. Let me go back to this motherfucker. So lock it, bear with me up. Just a few ticks. Nope. I don't want that. me see. All right, I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait. Forget it. So let me go back to this. Salakia. So again, 2 Ezra 6:20, it reads, "And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened for the firmament, and they shall see all together." So now, this is Obadiah. Obadiah 1:6. Everything that we seeing now is Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, wickedness, because he's a pivotal part of prophecy, man. Obadiah 1:6. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Let me pull this up real quick. See if I can go right here and do it. PIVAL. Pivotal. Right? Definition. So I can spell this shit wrong. Let's look at this. So real quick, come off that. Let's remove that. Put me here. Let me pull this up. Real quick, I just want to show the definition of pivotal. Make sure it's showing. All right. So here is the definition for pivotal, right?
Pivotal.
I'm turning this volume back up too. I forget to do that. So it's a of crucial importance in relation to the development or success of something else. So similar words. Central, crucial, vital, critical, focal, essential, key, significant, important, determining, decisive, deciding. So Esau Edom, he's a pivotal part of prophecy. I want to show that. So let's go back to Obadiah. So again, Obadiah 1:6. How the things of Esau searched out. Ah, man. I ain't know it was no sound. I ain't even know it was no sound. Damn it. Salakia, man. I've been running through these precepts. I ain't even know it was no sound. Man, I've been running through all these precepts. I ain't even know. Damn it. So let me go back. Oh man. I don't even know why I stopped that. Yeah, I took away my that was my fault, man. Damn it. Hold on. I don't even remember where I stopped there from what the sound cut off at. Um Let me go back. Sheesh. So I was making the point. Oh man, I got frustrated now because I don't remember where I stopped at. Where the sound stopped at. I don't know what the last. I'm out of double back. So I was going to the Revelation 13. The Revelations 13 dealing with that word killed. Let me go back. So I'm making the point this word kill here. This definition for the word kill is two definitions. So you got this one here, G615, which is to kill you physically. And then the other one is G2443, which I get this from LD Ashwamba. So when you go here to this G2443, you got to go to this G3850, this G3588. And it goes to the word omitted. So here it says, other significant renderings. It say only significant renderings other than. It say are counted. So right here, when you go to this, it say at others omitted. So this word omitted, when you click on this, which I had went to, let me show it to you. It's a lucky for that, man. I ain't know I had done. Let me go to this word omitted, but it's okay. I'm gonna run it back. I don't got nothing to do. I'm trying to go back far as I can remember. I stopped the video. So this word omitted, right? This is the word omit because there's two definitions for that word kill in Revelation 13 and 15. It say leave out, exclude, delete, take out, leave off, pass over, eliminate. So this is omit mean leave out or exclude someone or something, either intentionally or forgetfully. And it's intentionally if you don't take that C help. If you don't take that C help in Revelation 13. So I was showing that, and if you don't take that, going back to Let me go back here again. Salakia. Going back to 2 Corinthians 4 is the point I was making about that that's, if you don't take the sea help, then you're gonna have no resources. Right here, 2 Corinthians 4 and 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. This word perplexed here G639. To be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn, to be at a loss of oneself, be in doubt, not to know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed. Strong definition, to have no way out, i.e., be at a loss mentally. So the Lord has given spiritual fathers and spiritual uncles, man, to guide us on what to do. Because I was reading, let me go back. 2 Corinthians 6 and 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened for the firmament, and they shall see all together. Right? So, what are we seeing? The prophecies. And I had pulled this up too, because Esau Edom is a pivotal part of prophecy. Let me get this definition. I gotta go all the way back to this. If the sound wasn't playing, then I gotta go all the way back to this word pivotal. I was making the point about the word pivotal. Because Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, he's a pivotal part of prophecy. So this is the word pivotal.
Pivotal.
Central, crucial, vital, critical, focal, essential, key, significant. Now it'll tell you in Obadiah that he's insignificant, but dealing with prophecy as a nation of people, they are insignificant, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. But dealing with prophecy, he's significant, important. See, critical, focal, key, central, crucial. The self-proclaimed white man is a pivotal part of prophecy. So we'll run all the way back through these. We got to go all the way back. Let's go all the way back. Because this devil is a pivotal part of prophecy, man. So I had brought out Obadiah 1 and 6. Right? It reads, how the things of Esau searched out, how are his hidden things sought up through the prophecies. And the Lord has given us, starting with the apostle, elder, bishop, and elders, right? Their elders before them. The Lord has given us the family heirloom back, the Holy Spirit, the talents. The Lord has given us the talents, right? To gather all the intel on Esau Edom, filter it through the scriptures and feed it to the flock, man. What Esau do? He go in the countries. First he send in his spies, right? They gather all the intel. And then they come back, sit down, right? Make counsel, and then they make war. Proverbs 25 and 2 is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. So going back to Esau, the Lord has given us the Eisov, the family heirloom, the Holy Spirit, the talents to gather all the intel on Esau Edom, filter through the scriptures and feed it to the flock. This is about the flock, man. So, man, the Lord said he set a tower in the garden, man. And I don't know if it was heard. But I'm gonna read it again, 2nd Ezra 15 in 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof, which is America, Babylon the Great. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smeared with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for the seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and with a fearful constellation. Oh, and I was also making a point, right? Because this pivotal part of prophecy, Esau, Edom, when they say these tokens, the book shall be open for the firmament, they shall see all together. Everything that's being done in the earth is been done by the self-proclaimed so-called white man. Hosea, right? I was making this point. In Hosea 4:1. I don't know if this was heard neither, so I got to go back to this. Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Right? And this is now it applies to the so-called white man. It was the Israelites, but who controlled the resources now? The Edomites. It say because there is no truth nor mercy, and right here, no mercy. James 2:13. He ain't gonna be showed no mercy that showed no mercy. So because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. And why is there no mercy? Why is there no knowledge of the Lord? It tell you in Revelation 11:8. In the dead body shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, but also our Lord was crucified. Yahweh wasn't crucified in Sodom nor Egypt. So what is this talking about? He was exed out by the so-called white man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua was not taught here in America. Why? Because it is Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If the so-called white man ain't create Jesus Christ, who did it? There's no Chinese Jesus. There is not a Japanese Jesus. There is not an Iranian or Arab Jesus. And there is no African Hamite Jesus. So if the so-called white man didn't do it, who did it? This is why, again, Hosea 4:1 reads this, man. Again, it applies to the Israelites first and foremost, but now it applies to the heathen because they control the earth, the so-called white men do. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out in blood, touching blood. Therefore shall the land mourn. America, Isaiah 24 tell you the same thing. And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field. What the Lord has let Esau do, just like the Lord said, he's gonna smite players, he's gonna smite Egypt with players as before. Through the so-called white man, the Lord is removing the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, yeah, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken. So the Lord is letting the so-called white man do this because he's the sword of the Lord. Yeah. This is happening through them, man. So the Lord have given us our spiritual fathers and our spiritual uncles to guide us. Let me run back through these. I don't know if this was heard neither. Because I was making the point, right? In 1 Thessalonians. Here about the Lord say, the Lord gave ice off, right? It say, ye are all children of light. 1 Thessalonians 5:5, and children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, Put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for the helmet, the hope of salvation. So this ain't talking about you being asleep. This is talking about you having eyes off, man. 2/3 is sleep. They what's it how to say? Dead people walking, man. This ain't you talking about. This ain't the Lord telling us not to be physically sleep, man. It's a spiritual sleep. You either spiritual sleep or you spiritual woke, man. Well, ain't no spiritual sleep. You carnally through. But this is talking about the eyes off, which I read. Proverbs 29 and 18. 2/3 of Jake is done, man. But there is no vision. The people perish. But that keep the law happy as he. So then Ephesians 5:14. This is about having eyes off, man. And this is what the Lord said men on the tower, man. Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he saith, awaketh thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And if you don't have this, then that means Proverbs 21 and 16. Running back through these, because I don't know how far back the mic was turned off. The man that wanted out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. See that? So back here, wherefore Ephesians 5:14, he saith, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. This wine is philosophy of the world, man. But 2/3 don't have eyesight, so they sleep. They walking around sleep, man. And I was making a point about this chick that was crying, right? I don't know what this is called. Let me run back to this too. Jeremiah 8 and 17. Because she was crying, talking about down here, some Ephraimite Puerto Rican chick, talking about the troops. This is about a month or two ago, maybe a month ago. She talking about the troops in the city. Don't leave your houses. Be safe. Be careful. Jeremiah 8 and 17. For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which will not be charmed. They shall bite you, saith Yahweh. Right? The translation. The NLT. I will send these enemy troops among you, like poisonous snakes. You cannot charm, they will bite you, and you will die. I, the Lord, have spoken. So, see right here, you go to the translation, but when you go to the one in Jeremiah 18, it's plain, man. I'm going to start at 21. Running back through all these again, because I don't know how far the volume was cut off. Jeremiah 18 and 21, therefore, deliver up the children to the famine, deliver up their children to the famine, which is 2/3 children, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows. Like I said, you got Isaiah 3, right? You got what's that? Second Ezra, is that 16? Hold on. Second Ezra 16 and 33. Yep. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So here, therefore, deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. Right? And what's that force? The so-called white man. When you go to Matthew 11 and 12, and from the days of John the Baptist unto now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force, which was who? The so-called white man. Ezekiel 35 said the same thing. I read these. I'm running back through all of them. I got to run back through everything because I don't know how far the volume was turned off. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. How, Lord? By the force of the sword. In the time of that calamity, in the time of that iniquity had an end. See, let's go back. So the video I did a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, I think, the chick was crying because the troops is among them, right? So therefore, deliver up their children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, which is so-called white man doing this all over again, and let their wives be bereaved of their children. Hey, what Yahweh Shah said in Matthew 20, what's that, 23? And it say, and be widows, and let their men be put to death, let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. They're going to get drafted to the wars. Let me go to this as a matter of fact. I done added a precept. Luke, what is that, 23? Is it? Yep. Luke 23 and 26. And as they led him away, they laid hold upon one Simon a Cyrenian, coming out of the country, and on him they laid the cross, that he might bear it after Yahweh Shah. And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Yahweh Shah turned unto them, saying, daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, blessed are the barren, in the womb that never bare, and the paps that never gave suck. So here's the Lord, because just like it's going to be more women to get salvation than men, where you got the 144,000, which is all men. Then you got the unknown multitude, which is going to be mostly women, men and children. The same difference is it's going to be most women that's going to get put to death on this side, man. Micah 7:10, she that's my enemy. So here's the point, right? Verse 22. Because the chick, I did a video on the Ephraimite chick, the Puerto Rican chick was crying, talking about, yeah, you be careful out there of the troops. Well, here it is. Jeremiah 18:22, that they cry be heard from their houses. Why, Lord? When thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them, for they have digged the pit to take me and hid snares for my feet. And see, they talking trash against the prophets. A lot of prophets going to be put to death by family members. So, it said, let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. So everybody on TikTok crying about ICE. It is Northern Kingdom, man, Southern Kingdom, man. Well, this is the judgment of the Lord. Well, at the same time, the Lord got the prophets on the towers, man. That was the point of the lesson. The Lord got the prophets on the towers giving warning. And Jake ain't taking heed, man. I want to get Ezekiel 14 and 21. But thus saith Yahweh, power, how much more when I send my full sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. So while the Lord will destroy 2/3, yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, upon all 12 tribes of Israel, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you. Who? The prophets. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings. See, the Lord raised up these men to give comfort to the remnant, man. The Lord raised these men up to give comfort. And they shall comfort you when you shall see their ways and their doings. That's Judges 5:11, rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh by Shema Shah. And ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith Yahweh power. Because that Jeremiah 6, I don't even care about this not going to Odyssey. It don't matter. I know I'm well over 2 hours now. Hour 47. It's all good. Jeremiah 6:27. I had set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. Look, when you go to Judges, right? This is Judges 2. I want to read the whole thing. Oh, I usually start at 14. Let me read this. You know what? You know what, man? The Lord say, the curses in Deuteronomy 28. The Lord scattered us among all these heathen nations. You know why? To prove you. Do you like being around these devils? Any of these heathens? Do you like hanging out around any of these heathen nations? You don't supposed to. Look at this. Judges 2:20. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he said, because that this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel whether they will keep the way of Yahweh to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it or not. See? So you living amongst these heathens supposed to vex your spirit, man. Isaiah. But as we see, 2/3 is not vexed with living amongst these heathens, man. So what happened? Let me get this. So what happened? Jake done trimmed their way to seek love, man. Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So now it's been passed down generation to generation. Our people have taught our people how to trim your way to the so-called white man, which is Isaiah 30:12. They trust in oppression. But guess what the Lord said at the end, verse 37? Yeah, thou shalt go forth from him, and thy hands upon thy head, for Yahweh have rejected thy confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them. See? And Jake look at, like Big Bro, how you always say, the exception of our people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, which died a grievous death, right? These what's this nigga? And man, the apostles been saying it, man. They use this nigga Bill Russell and Walter Payton to get you to take the juice, man. To alter your DNA, they used that nigga Bill Russell and Walter Payton before they both died. Use this nigga John Legend. They use Tyra Banks and Monica to get to alter your DNA. Then this devil Anthony Fauci gonna say, yeah, you should be happy because a so-called Negro helped create it. What? Kismakia Quebec, her name is. Which I think that's Eunice Rivers back in reincarnated, if you ask me. But anyway, nigga done trim their ways, man. So the Lord said he rejected their confidences. And what's Jake confidences? Jake confidences, because confidence comes with fidences, faith is in a so-called white man. Look at this, Isaiah 30:12. Wherefore thus said the whole one of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Let's go to verse 1. Go to the rebellious children of Yahweh that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So Jake, just like Adam and Eve took a covering, hey, Jake, trust in oppression, man. But guess what? Therefore, shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shelter of Egypt your confusion. Let's get the word confusion again. Same word, right? Confusion. America, Babylon the Great, the place of chaos. Oh, this is a different one. This is a different one from the one in confusion, dishonor, reproach. Oh, that's heavy. I usually read this one too. See? Be confounded, be put to confusion, hurt. Now, when you go to the one in Isaiah 24, look at this. This is heavy. right? Now look at this confusion here. Can't make this up, man. Look, two different confusions, both in Isaiah H84:14. Man, this is heavy, man. And that's the other confusion I usually bring out when I read Proverbs. What is that? Proverbs. When they say when the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt and with ignominy reproach. What's that? I forget right off. Let me pull it up. Look at this. Place of chaos. That's a miracle, Babylon the Great. And this is heavy because this is two different confusions. That confusion was in Isaiah 30. This was in Isaiah 24, man. What is that? Oh, Proverbs 18:3. That's what it is. See, this man, this is how the things that Esau searched out, his hidden things sought up, man. Yeah, Proverbs 18:3. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt and with ignominy reproach. When you go to the word ignominy, when you go to the word ignominy, right? Matter of fact, I'm just gonna get it from the phone. This word ignominy, I might actually bring this out so much. So the word ignominy, it got shame, humiliation, embarrassment, disgrace, dishonor, stigma. And really, when you tap on stigma, it's a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. So to take this mark, just like in the law, in Exodus, was the Exodus 22, Exodus 21, that stigma that's tied to the so-called white man is taking that mark, man. Exodus 21, and 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, let me go to it. See, all this go back to Esau, man. All of it. Exodus 21 and 4 and 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. See? And that's that revelation, man. Look at this. See, now I make the point when I did the lesson a few times. This is the one law that the so-called white man is trying to keep of the Lord, man. Look at this. When you go to Revelation 13:18, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636, which is his universal product code, man. Right? When you go to this, go to here G5516, right? And you go down to stigma, right? You go to G4742, stigma. Look at this. Now, this is exactly what it says in Exodus 21, verse 5 and 6. Look at this. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body to ancient oriental usage. Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master, Exodus 21, 5 and 6, or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their body to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. To stick, i.e. prick, a mark incised or punch for recognition of ownership. What I just read to you here. Exodus 21, verse 5 and 6. If the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his mouth shall bring him into the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his mouth shall bore his ear through with an awl. He shall serve him forever, man. That's plain. Plain, man. So, yeah. I just want to make those points because 2/3 of Jacob's walking dead, man. But the Lord said, he set a tower in the midst of Jake, man. He set a tower in the midst of Jake. Isaiah 5 and 2. It said, Isaiah 5 and 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching my vineyard. My well-beloved have a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones, which are the men, the elect thereof. Take that in Lamentations 4 and 1. The precious son of Zion, comparable to fine gold, right? It said the stones of the sanctuary are poured out on top of every street. So we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But now, Ezekiel 11:16, it talks about the Lord, him being a little sanctuary to where he scattered Israel at. That's why I tell you in Lamentations 4, we are not known in the streets because the Lord hid his face. So he took away our title, right? He took away our title, which is sons of God. Yasha'Allah, our title. He took away our status, just like the movie Thor. With the old until he said, no more titles. The Lord removed Yasha'Allah. He removed the sons of power. He took our title away, our status. He say, and he fenced it and gathered out the stone thereof and planted it with the choicest vine. What stones? The pillars, man. And built a tower in the midst of it. There's always been a tower. There's always been prophets amongst Israel, man. Luke 1. Matter of fact, let me go there real quick. Because now I'm kicked into a whole nother gear. I'm about to go somewhere else with this. And I need to stop. Luke. What the hell I put 1 Luke? I'm tripping. Luke 1. Was that 70? The Lord always had prophets, man. He said he built a tower in the midst of it. Luke 1 and 7, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. When it tell you in Genesis 3, this is the point of this lesson, man. And Salaki for the volume. Salaki. What was that? 14, maybe? Somewhere up in there. Nope. Right here. Genesis 3 and 10. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. He ain't talking about Adam and Eve being butt naked. It's talking about them, the Lord removed that hedge, that covering right here, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord, Yahweh, walking in the garden in the cool of the day. What's it talking about? A prophet, man. You know, the prophet said, y'all done fucked up now. Y'all got to go. They was warned. It say, and they heard a voice. They heard the voice of Yahweh, God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. In the cool of the day, man, before they was kicked out. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. The other people, man. Adam and Eve weren't the only people, man. Anyway, the voice, the Lord has always had his voice there since the beginning, man. Luke 1 and 70. As he speak by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Going back to this. The stones, right? And gather out the stones. When you go to 1 Samuel 2, what's that, 9, a 10, 1? Look at this. What the Lord is doing. He's raising up, verse 8. Look, 1 Samuel 2:8. He raised up the poor out of the dust. That's us. He did the same thing with Esau. Raised them up out of the dust and set them on top. But now he's setting them back to the dust and raising them back up. Because what? When you read Genesis 3:14, the prophecy of the so-called white man was dust was going to follow. He said, dust should I eat all the days of thy life, which is confusion. So that whole prophecy of them, they returning back to the dust. Hey, and I have to say, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, he's racing fast back to the dust. Hey, you see their kingdom? They are running fast back to the dust and don't even know it. He raised up the poor out of the dust, the Israelites, and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill. We became beggars, right? We don't have no certain dwelling place. So we beggars, all 12 tribes, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. That's what Yahweh told Peter in Matthew 19:27-28. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he have set the world upon them. What's the pillars? Who are the pillars? Well, let me show you. Revelation. The world is Israel. Who are the pillars, though? Important. Revelations 3:12. Him, who? Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. And this city that's coming down is the elect coming out of the chariots, the men. It's going to be men, women, and children, but the men are the pillars. And he's going to set the Israelites among these pillars, the original men that was with Yahweh in the beginning. The angels that what kept not their first estate. These are the same. These are, man, what is that? 2 Peter 2:4. Let's read this. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, he delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. The men, limitation. Limitation 2:1. How have the Lord, look, God's anger over Israel. How have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. So, Psalms, I'm making a point about these men, these pillars, man. Psalms 107:5. Another precept to back that precept up. Psalms 107 and nope, hold on. Where is it? So you got yep, right here. So Psalm 107:12. Therefore he brought down their heart with labor. They fell down, and there was none to help. See? But what the Lord is doing now? Isaiah 62:10. Go through the gates, chief place of the cities, prepare ye the way of the people. Cast up the highway to do what, Lord? Gather out the stones. Lift up a standard for the people. What's the stones? 1 Peter 2:5. Man, I'm about to go another 2 damn hours playing. 1 Peter 12:5, ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer spiritual sacrifices. Present your body living sacrifice, said in Romans 12, acceptable unto power by Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Lamentations. I'm about to go, man. I'm about to go. I ain't gonna stay that much more long. I'm about to go. Lamentations 4:1. The point I'm making in this lesson, and I hate that the volume was turned off, but this is about the tower. Who sits on the tower? The men. Lamentations 4:1. How has the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? Who is it? Who? The stones. The stones of the sanctuary are poured out on the top of every street. Who are these stones? The precious sons of Zion. Listen, man. Listen, man. I'm listening to this woman, Eldam Natazakbar. I'm listening to the video at the plantation yesterday. Man, the Lord gonna kill you women, man. The Lord is gonna kill you women. You have no clue. You on YouTube, TikTok, talking about you a prophet. The Lord's gonna kill you, man. And whoever you is after you 2/3 slow belly, Evite, the Lord gonna kill your ass. Listen, Amos 2:9. Ye yet destroyed out the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit from above and his roots from beneath. To my them heathens, them Canaanites, them 7 nations of Canaan. Also, I brought you up from the land of Egypt and led you 40 years through the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorite. And I raised up of your sons for prophets and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel, saith the Lord? And I was thinking about, because the Eldam Natazakbar, you know, it's been many lessons on this dude talking about Job was an Edomite, right? Job was a prophet, man. And the Lord ain't raised no prophets out of Edom. When you read James 5, it tell you the brethren, the patience, the sufferings of Job. Here, Amos 2:11, and I raised up of your sons for prophets and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel? And this word children here is son. When you look this up, saith Yahweh. So here's the Lord raising back up the pillars. The pillars, man. The prophets. Going back to being virgins, and the Lord said, I'm going to stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance. Look at this. Man. Jeremiah. Man, I love this here. Jeremiah 31:12. This goes to the Revelation 14 when they say, in their mouth was found no guile. They were virgins. They were not defiled with women. Look at this. Jeremiah 31:13. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance. What virgins, Lord? Both young men and old together. Let's further prove it to my men. For I will turn their mourning into joy and will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrow. The men, and I will salutate, who, Lord? The soul of the priests with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith Yahweh. Yahweh don't deal with women. He deal with the men, and the men deal with the women. This is order, man. Who are the virgins? Both young men and old together. Who? Priests. Priests. Hold on. Exodus. Exodus 19. Hey, I feel sorry for you 2/3 women out there, man. I'm talking about the one that's talking shit. Talking about they can teach. I'm talking to you. Exodus 19:5. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me, above all people, for all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me, what, Lord? A kingdom of priests and holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Hold on, I got another one. Revelation. These are the men on the tower right now, man. What's that? Revelation 5. And they sung, Revelation 5 and 9. And they sung a new song. Who? The priests, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seal thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed God, and have redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Where the women at here? We don't got to go to 1 Corinthians 14 or 1 Timothy 2. We don't got to do that. The Lord is raising up the priests, man. That's what this is about. So the men that's on the tower, but then you got like the ones say in Ecclesiasticus. Let me read this. You got somebody that want to come and tell those that's on the tower something different. Ecclesiasticus 37 and 14. For a man's mind is sometimes want to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in the high tower. So you got somebody that want to come and tell the prophets something different. No, man, the Lord is raising up these stones all over again, man. So anyway, I played the video and want to show you. The apostles been telling us about this a long time. The apostles been telling us about this, man. The cattle disease, the darkness that's coming, the Lord destroying the food, the people. Like I said, Hosea 4, it said the earth languisheth. The people with the beasts, the fowls, and the fish of the sea, man. The Lord is destroying this, man. Oh, and as God was making a point, going from the old to the new. Well, guess what? The Lord is reverting us back to the old. As a matter of fact, Deuteronomy. The Lord is taking us back to the old, man. Deuteronomy. What's that? 32 and 7, I think. Let's see. Yeah, they jump way to 34. Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Why? Why should we remember the days of old? Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. Why is the Lord saying remember the days of old? Because we going back to our customs, our heritage, our lineage, our inheritance, which is the land. Yeah, man. This is about the Lord raising up his men. Oh, what Yahushua said. Let me get this. John. The order, man. Proverbs 14 and 40. Everything is about to be done decently and in order. John 6 and 44. No man can come to me. Who? No man can come to me. Who? No man can come to me except the Father which have sent me. Draw him. Draw him. And I will raise him up at the last day. See? Yeah, man. I can keep going, but Lord wants to edify. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishop, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready accepted not. And a sincere salutation to all that can believe in this truth and pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the outworth who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning, throughout tuning in, may Yahweh Bashim Yahushua continue blessing your houses. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Till next time, I say Shalom. Wow, Baba.